Okay. Hello, BS Radtech students. So this time, I will give you another example. So we have here, and by the way, BS Radtech students, kasi you will be having your activity by group, no, yung activity ninyo. So upon answering your activity, like finding the mean, mode, median, and or those other things pa na yung hahanapin ninyo, kailangan nyo munang gumawa ng frequency table. Ito, gagawa muna kayo nito. Para kompleto na lahat, ganito dapat yung content ng table ninyo. Okay? Kasi ang ibibigay ko lang kasi is ito lang. Ito lang yung ibibigay ko. Kayo na ang bahala maglagay nito. Okay? Basta ang i-follow nyo lang is ganito dapat. Okay? So, bakit daghan kayo sa set? Para makuha ninyo yung yung mean, yung median at saka mode. Okay? This is the process kasi of getting those measure of central tendency and variability of group data. So let's start. So let's start with X. Paano kukunin si X? This is the midpoint. Okay? This is the upper class and the lower class. One belongs baliktad. One belongs to the lower class, 10 belongs to upper class. Okay? This is the lower class, this is the upper class. Now, to find your midpoint, again, to find your midpoint, ang gawin nyo lang is that, ito lang. I-add lang ang dalawa, i-divide by 2. Okay? I-add lang ang dalawa, then i-divided by 2. So you have 1 plus 10, it's 11 divided by 2, that's what? Divided by 2, that's 5.5. Then ito, 11 plus 20 divided by 2, that's 15.5. Next is 25.5. Yeah? I-add ang dalawa, then divide by 2. Ito then, i-add ang dalawa, divide ng 2, that's 35.5. Ito din, i-add ang dalawa, i-divide ng 2, that's 45.5. Okay. Ganyan ang pagkuha ng X. Okay? Okay. Next. Wait lang, hindi mo clarify. Okay. Next, we need to get the interval first, no? Interval. Interval is also called as class width. Okay? Itong I is the interval or also called as class width. Paano kukunin ang class width? Ano lang? 1 to 10. Mag-count ka lang ng from 1 to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That means the interval is 10. Or what is another way? The other way of getting the interval, isubtract mo lang yung lower class mo. 11 minus 1, 10. Isubtract mo rin itong upper class mo. 20 minus 10, 10. 21 minus 11, 10. 30 minus 10, 20 is 10. Okay? So that means our interval is 10. How about our n? What is the n? N is the total number of frequency. F is your frequency. So paano kukunin ng n? The total number of frequency, i-add lahat. That's 8 plus 14 plus 12 plus 9 plus 7. And that is 50. Your n is 50. Okay? Now, let's proceed to the x squared. X squared. Itong si x mo, itong 5.5 mo, which is the x, our x, kailangan mo siyang i-square. So 5.5 squared, 30.25, 15.5 squared, 240.25, 25.5 squared, 650.25, 35.5 squared, 1,260.25, 45.5 squared, we have 2,070.25. Next, si fx naman. Paano kukunin si fx? Malamang, i-times ang yung 8 at saka yung i-times yung f at saka si x. Okay? I-times mo yung f mo sa x mo. Example, itong 8. 8 times 55. 8 times 55 we have 5.5. 55 naman mali. Okay. 8 times 5.5. Mali naman ko. It's 44. Itong 14. 14 times 15.5. 217. 12 times 25.5. 306. 9 times 35.5. 319.5. 7 times 45.5. 318.5. Then, para makuha natin yung summation of f of x, para makuha yung summation of x, which is very important to get your mean, okay, to get your mean, anong gagawin natin? We are going to add this one. When we say summation, the total of your f of x. So, kailangan natin i-add ito lahat. I-add lahat. 44 plus 217 plus 306 plus 319.5 plus 318.5. So the answer is 1,205. Okay? How about the f of x squared? Paano kukunin ang f of x squared? Of course, same lang. I-times yung 8, yung f mo sa x squared. I-times yung f sa x squared. So yung f mo is 8. I-times mo siya sa yung x squared, 30.25. You will have 242. Yan. Your 14 times 240.25. The answer is 3,363.5. Ito si 12. Times 650.25. The answer is 7,803. Next is 9 times 1,260.25. The answer is 11,342.25. Next is 7. I-times mo dito sa 2,000. 70.25, i-times mo siya, ito at saka ito i-times, you will have 14,491.75. Okay? Yan. And to find your to find this one, the summation of fx squared, to find this one, para mahanap mo to, i-add mo to lahat. Again, para mahanap mo to, i-add mo to lahat. Okay? And you will have 242 plus 3,363.5 plus 7,803 plus 11342.5 plus 14491.75. You will have 37,242.5. The purpose of getting this one manggod is for us to use this in finding your standard deviation and variance. Okay? Magagamit mo to siya pagkuha ng variance mo at saka standard deviation. Now, how about the lower boundaries? Paano kukunin ang lower boundaries? Of course, to get the lower boundaries, focus sa lower class. Your lower class is 1, 11, 21, 31, 41. That's your lower class. Now, para makuha ang lower boundary each class, lower boundary ha, lower boundary. Subtract this one by 0.5. Subtract mo siya, you have 0.5. Ang 11 is subtracted by 0.5, that's 10.5. Ang 21 is subtract by 0.5, that's 20.5. The 31 is subtract by, 0.5, you have 30.5. Same goes with here, 41.5. Si upper boundary is kabaliktaran ng lower boundary. Again, si upper boundary, kabaliktaran ng lower boundary. Kung kay lower boundary, nag-subtract ta of 0.5, kay upper boundary, mag-add ta of 0.5. Okay, mag-add tayo ng 0.5. 10. 10 plus 0.5. 10.5. 20 plus 0.5. 4.5. Next, 30 plus 0.5, you have 30.5. 40 plus 0.5, 40.5. 50 plus 0.5, 50.5. Next, how about the cumulative frequency? Okay, cumulative frequency. So, sa cumulative frequency, this is less than cumulative frequency. Okay? Our frequency na pinakauna is 8. So, 8 yung ilagay natin dito. And then, ang pinakauna na cumulative frequency, ang frequency here is 8. So, dapat 8 po dito. To get the other, this one, yung kasunod niya, para makuha yung kasunod, the frequency here is 14. So, 8 plus 14, 8 plus 14 is 22. Then 22, the next is 12. 22 plus 12 is 34. Then 34 plus 9. 34 plus 9 is 43. Next, 43 plus 7 is 50. Diba may binanggit ako last time na kung ano yung last mo dito, kung ano yung last number mo dito, that is the value of your n. Okay? Kung ano yung last number mo dito, that is the value of your n. Okay? So, kompleto na yung table natin and ready na tayo kunin yung mean, mode, median for measures of central tendency and for measure of variability, standard deviation, and variance. Then we have also the quantile, the third quantile at saka the first quantile together with the interquartile range. Okay? Let's start with the mean. What's the formula of mean? Mean is equal to summation of f of x over n. This is the formula of mean. Our summation of f of x is ito. Given na. 1,205. Our n is 50. So, 1,205 divided by 50, the answer is 24.1. Okay? Our mean is 24.1. Again, our mean is 24.1. How about the mode? Okay? The mode, we have here the formula, the lower boundary of the, median muna tayo. Sorry, median. Median yung next natin kukunin, median. What's the formula of median? The lower boundary of median plus n over 2 minus f over the frequency of the median class times I. Ayan. Again, to get the median, this is the formula. N over 2 minus f divided by the frequency of the median class. So the first thing natin, para ma-solve itong median, the first step that we are going to do, we need to identify the median class. Saan dito na row ang median class? Or should I say the median area? Saan dito yung median area? Now, ito yung ano. Ito yung gagawin natin. What is your n? Your n is 50. Okay? Your n is 50. Ano yung half ng 50? Ano yung half ng 50? 50 divided by 2, 25. Okay? Ito talaga yung rule ha. Ito yung talaga yung rule. Before mo ma-identify yung median class, punta ka sa n mo. Your n is 50. I-divide mo siya ng 2, that's 25. Now, dito sa cumulative frequency, wala kang makikitang 25 dyan. Tama, di ba? Wala kang makikitang 25. Now, but 25 is in between these two numbers. 25 is in between 22 and 34. Now, hindi pwede maging median class of 22 kasi lumagpas na siya. Again, hindi pwede maging median class of 22. Ito na part, hindi siya pwede maging median class because lumagpas na siya. Okay? Hindi pa siya lumagpas na siya ng 25. Or should I say, wala pa siya kaabot ng 25. Okay? Hindi pa siya umabot ng 25. Si 34, yan. Si 34, ito siya. This is your median class. Okay? 22. Of course, dumaan na, di ba? 22. So, 25 yung n natin. So, from 1 to 25, dumaan na yung 22. So, that means hindi siya pwede maging median class. Si 34, hindi pa. So, ito siya. Okay? Next, since this is our median class, that means this is our basis. Okay? Ito yung basis natin for our median. Okay? Ito yung basis natin to get the median. Now, what is this LM? The lower boundary of your median class. Saan dito yung lower boundary? Ito yung lower boundary. And this is the median class. What is the lower boundary of the median class? This one. 20.5 plus your n is 50, you're divided by 2 minus ano itong f? Itong malaking f nito, that is the cumulative frequency before the median class, bago mag-median class. If this is the median class, ano yung number bago mag-34? It's 22. Diba? Again, ano yung number bago mag-34? It's 22. The median, before median class. It's 22. So dapat 22 dito over f. Ano yung itong small letter f? That is the frequency of the median class. That's the frequency of the median class. Frequency of the median class is 12 times I. Our I is 10. Our I is 10. Okay, so you have 20.5 plus 25 minus 22 over 12 times 10. Okay, so you will have what? Ilan itong median? Okay, solve natin. 20.5 plus 25 minus 22 over 12 times 10. The median is 20. The median is 20. Okay? So this is the process of getting your median. Next, to find the mode. Okay, to find the mode na tayo, mode. Okay, wait lang ha. The formula for mode we have, okay, the formula for mode, the lower boundary of the modal class plus triangle 1 or delta 1 delta 1 plus delta 2. Yan. Okay? This is the formula of getting the mode. And we need to determine first itong delta 1. Okay? Kailangan natin i-determine ang delta 1. Ano ba yung delta 1? The delta 1 is what? Ano ba yung based sa formula na binigay ko? The delta 1 is the difference between the mode of the is the difference between the frequency the frequency of the modal class, okay? Mali, sorry. Pero ako nalibong ko. The delta 1 is the difference between your the difference between yung frequency ng modal class mo at saka the frequency of the frequency after the modal class. Okay? After. Yung isa kay yung delta 2 is the difference between your frequency of your modal class and the frequency before the modal class. It's a formula. Again ang delta 1, the difference between your frequency of your modal class and the frequency of your after the modal class. After the modal class. Ang delta 2 is the difference between the frequency of your modal class and the frequency of your the frequency before your modal class. Kailangan natin siya i-determine, and we have here delta 1. Ano nga ba yung delta 1 natin? So ito yung, but before that, before natin ma-solve yung mode, kailangan muna natin i-determine ang modal class. Okay? Kailangan muna natin i-determine ang modal class. Paano i-determine ang modal class? Punta ka lang sa mode, sa frequency. Okay? Punta ka lang sa frequency. Now, based dito, saan dyan ang may pinakamalaking frequency? Again, ang basis natin for our modal class, punta ka lang dito sa frequency. Saan dyan yung may pinakamalaking frequency? The answer is the what? Si 14. That means this is your modal class. Okay? This is your modal class. Kasi, take note, bakit siya yung modal class? 14 yung may pinakamalaking frequency. Okay? Si 14. Among of the given frequency here, si 14 ang may pinakamalaking frequency. So this is our modal class, 14. So to find delta 1, 14 minus 8, yung nasa taas niya. Okay? And that is 6. Next, para makuha ang delta 2, 14 minus nasa baba niya. That's, 14 minus 12. Yeah, it's 2. So ang clue namin nito, sir, ang clue namin para makita yung delta 1, ang aming frequency ng modal class, i-minus lang sa mode yung frequency niya sa taas. Okay? Para makuha ang delta 2, yung frequency ng aming modal class, i-minus lang sa baba niya. Okay? So, the lower boundary of your modal class is 10.5. Okay? The lower boundary, LMO stands for the lower boundary of the modal class, which is 10.5. Now, 10.5 plus delta 1 is 6 over delta 2 is 2. 2 plus 6 times I. Wait, I forgot the formula here. Dapat na rin may I din. Nakalimot ko sa I. Nakalimot ko sa sorry. So may I dapat dito times the interval which is 10. That means, so the mode is, okay, solve nyo, the mode is what? 10.5 plus 6 over 2 plus 6 times 10. The answer is 18. Okay? The answer for the mode is 18. Okay? I-simplify na lang ito. The answer is 18. And this is your mode. Okay? Now, for the variance. The formula for the variance we have here. Okay, ang gamitin natin ang gagamitin na variance formula is yung sa yung sa sample. Again, ang gagamitin naman na formula for variance is the sample variance. The formula we have summation of fx squared, ito, minus the summation of the fx with naka-squared pati ay, naka-squared sa labas, over n minus 1. This is the formula of variance. To substitute, we have the value of this one. Ito yung value niya. The value of summation of fx squared, ito yung value niya. That's 37,242.5. Then ito, the value of summation of x, ito yung value niya. We have 1,205 squared over our n is 10 divided by 10 minus 1. So 37,242.5 minus, I'm wrong. Our n is 50. Our n is 50 by the way. Oh, nalibat ko. Okay, sorry. Namali ko. Our n is 50. Okay? So this is 29,014.5 over 50 minus 1 is 49. That means your variance is 167.39. This is your variance. Okay? And to get your standard deviation, you have, diba, standard deviation is equal to the square root of variance, diba? Okay? Standard deviation is the square root of variance. Yan. So, standard deviation is equal to square root of 167.39. Yan. The answer is 12.94. Again, 12.90. Okay? So, ganito ang pagkuha ng standard deviation and variance. Next, we are going to get the first quantile. The formula Q1 is equal to LQ1 plus N over 4 minus F over the frequency of the first of the quantile, then times the interval. Okay? Yan ang formula. And to find the third quantile, the formula Q3 is equal to LQ3 plus 3N over 4 minus F over FQ3 times the interval. That's the formula. Now, to find the basis for our first quartile, our n is 50. Okay, our n is 50. Now, 50 divided by 4. Kailangan mo siya i-divide ng 4. Again, for first quartile or quantile, yeah, i-divide mo siya ng 4 ang 50. 50 divided by 4 is 12.5. Yeah. 50 divided by 4 is 12.5. Again, 50 divided by 4 is 12.5. Now, si 12.5, wala ka makikita ng 12.5 dito. Wala ka makikita ng 12.5. That means, this is your Q1 class. Okay? This is your first quartile class. So the lower boundary of our first quartile class is 10.5 plus our n is 50 over 2 minus, what is the frequency before? What is the frequency before? Cumulative frequency rather, cumulative frequency. What is the cumulative frequency before your Q1 class? The answer is 8. Then the frequency is 14. The frequency or Q1 class, then the interval is 10. So 10.5 plus 12.5, sorry, 4 din siya, sorry, 4. 4 na 4, namalik ko sa 4. 12.5 minus 8 over 14 times 10. So the Q1 here is the first quantile we have, let's solve. The first quantile, we have 13.71. Okay? The first quantile is 13.71. Next, for the third quantile, okay? For the third quantile, we have here, ano yung basis natin for our third quantile? So for our third quantile, ito yung basis natin para makuha yung third quantile na class. We have 3. Our n is 50. Our n is 50. So 3 times 50 divided by 4, and that is 37.5. Again, sir, ganun ka na yung gamiton? Tanawa lang niyo, 3n over 4, di ba? 3n over 4. Our n is 50. So 3 times 50, it's 150 divided by 4. That's 37.5. That's the basis of our third quantile. Now, di ba 37.5 ang this one 37.5. Wala mang 37.5 dito. But 37.5 is in between here. Okay? 37.5 is in between here, and 34, di yan siya pwede maging third quantile. Kasi lagpas na siya. Okay? So si 43 dapat. Si 43 ang ating third quantile. So ito yung basis natin for third quantile class. Ito. So you have the low boundary of this third quantile is 30.5. Then 3 times 50 divided by 4 minus, ano tong big F? This big F is the cumulative frequency before the cumulative frequency of your third quantile class. Again, itong F dito, that is the cumulative frequency, okay, of your before sa third quantile class natin. Ito, before nito. So that's 34 over tong FQ3. That's the frequency of your third quantile. Ito yung third quantile class natin. The frequency is 9 times the interval, which is 10. So 30.5 plus 37.5. 37.5 minus 34 over 9 times 10. That means your third quantile is 34.39. Again, 34.39. So since nakuha naman natin yung third quantile natin, we are going to solve our IQR, the interquartile range. Again, na-solve naman natin siya, ang Q1 at Q3 mo, we are going to solve the IQR. Okay? The IQR, which is, ano yung formula ng IQR? IQR is, that is space. Okay? The IQR is equal to quantile 3 minus quantile 1. That's the formula. So we have the quantile 3 is 34.39 minus the quantile 1 is 13.71. That means the interquartile range, yes, the interquartile range here, we have 34.39 minus 13.71, you have 20.68. This is the value of the interquartile range. And also, ito na yung process. The whole process, ito yung gagawin ninyo for your activity this coming Thursday. Okay? Ito yung gagawin ninyo na activity this coming Thursday. Find the mean, median mode, the variance, the standard deviation, the first quantile, the third quantile, and saka the interquartile range. Don't worry kasi by group ang activity. Okay? So that's all. So that's all for your for the discussion of the measure of central tendency and measure of variability.